Hello students, and welcome back to Hexxit Education. This is episode number 23, and today we're going to be wrapping up our arc on the Harken Scythe mod within Hexxit, talking about the various tools and basically tools and weapons that are available through Harken Scythe. We're going to be focusing on several things which are, I believe, let me put it this way. If you wanted a reason to go through all the trouble of making glaives and making scythes, this is the reason why. This is the stuff that you want to make within a Harken Scythe, and the earlier you make it in your Hexxit game, the better off you'll be, and you'll thank yourself later for it. So without further ado, let's head back into our biology lab, where I've left the tools we're going to need to talk about today. So, first things first, we're going to talk about, it was already in my inventory. That was handy. We talk about the Talisman. Now what the Talisman does, if you read the text here, it says, breaks after one resurrection. That's right. This is a resurrection device. It works somewhat similar to the to the Phoenix Feather from Legend Gear we talked about. It is crafted using Ender Pearl, 2-string, and a diamond. So not too expensive. However, it's only good for one resurrection. Now, by contrast, the Ethereal Talisman breaks after 5 resurrections, but it in fact costs a Nether Star. So if you happen to kill the Wither, this is not too bad a use for it. Then of course it's simpler in general just to keep inventory, but that's up to you. So I'm actually kind of curious to see what happens when this works. So it says it costs 10 souls and 20 blood. So I've got a blood vessel and a soul vessel in my inventory. I've also got a talisman in my inventory. So I want to see what happens when I get killed like this. Okay, so I'm almost dead here, so let's see what happens when this guy kills me. Okay, so it broke and I'm here, but the next shot did hurt me in fact. Okay, so I'm gonna run away because I don't have a sword. Wait a minute, I'm right next to my weapons department. Hang on. Never pick a fight with a guy with an armory. Okay, so you notice I am a pincushion, but you notice I no longer have the talisman on me, and it did in fact use 20 blood and 10 souls. So that's what happens when you use a talisman. And like I said, the ethereal one is going to be the same functionality, except it breaks after 5 resurrections instead of just 1. Okay, so for the next thing I want to talk about are these. These are the amulets, and this is something I kind of wish was in Minecraft, but I realize it's way too magical for it to be in the game normally. Well, I guess there's some magic to be with enchanting everything, but this reminds me more than anything else of a Hearthstone from World of Warcraft. I love these things, so I'm actually not sure where my bed is, so. It's been quite a while since I actually slept in a bed. I don't know if I even have one around here. Okay, so I just spawned in a bed here in the library because I don't actually have a bed in the Overworld campus. Well, now I do. So I have to sleep in the bed. Okay, now I'm gonna go off somewhere and we'll see how this thing works. So be right back. Okay. So as you can see, I'm looking around here. We are on the southern end of our little peninsula. This is where we were playing around with the meteors several episodes back. So I'm going to hold. I have my overworld amulet here. Now what the overworld amulet does is teleport back to resting place. However, it only works in the overworld. So it's hold right click. Yeah, sorry. Mystic stuff happening here. Whoa, whoa. Okay, I'm here, but I'm kind of stuck in the block. So I got to... Okay, that was unforeseen. I think it might be because the ceiling is fairly low. So I just had to break my bed in order to get out of there. And as you can see, I used up some blood and some souls, as it says in the recipe here. I'll have to sleep again in order to get the other ones to work. So essentially, the other two will work in the same manner. The difference being that, well, actually, let me show you how they're made. That might make it more of a difference. So the regular, the overworld amulet is made using an ender pearl, some clay, and some string. So as soon as you get an ender pearl, make this stuff. And get an ender pearl, get a soul vessel, keep it with you, use this. It'll save you a massive amount of time after you've done pillaging a fortress, just to use one simple spell basically, and get back to your base instead of having to trudge back there. It's only downside is that you won't be able to take your chocobo with you or your horse, but it's plus or minus to everything. So the nether one actually costs 3 fire charges. Oh, that's interesting. So we actually have a use for fire charges. And what another one does is basically it works in the nether or the overworld. So they will always go back to your bed. However, if you try and use the overworld amulet in the nether and your bed's in the overworld, it won't function. But if you use the nether one, you'll be able to transfer it back and forth through dimensions. But if you use the ethereal one, this one will actually work anywhere, and that includes the end. That includes, I believe, the Twilight Forest, because it's considered a separate dimension. However, it takes 3 nether stars to make it, so very, very expensive. If you happen to make a wither killing farm, then it won't be that expensive, but in general, that's going to be kind of hard to come by. So that is how the amulets work. Again, very, very useful in Hexxit. Okay, so then the next thing I want to talk about is this. This is the Necronomicon. And for those of you who are fans of the Evil Dead series, you'll know exactly what this is. In fact, the text is right out of that particular movie series. So how you make the Necronomicon is relatively simple but also complicated. You need 4 pieces of rotten flesh, easy enough, but you also need 5 pieces of 5 Necronomicon pages. These are hard to find. They're usually that you can't craft them. You find them usually in chest drops. I have been able to find them in trades with some villagers occasionally, so keep an eye out for that. But you need 5 of these in order to make the Necronomicon. And once you make it, you're also going to want to get yourself some creep balls. And we talked about this in our previous episode, but just to refresh your memory, these are made with slime, spider eyes, and rotten flesh. Not too expensive as long as you got a decent supply of slime balls. Now how you use them is a little tricky. And you're going to need an extra tool for this. You're going to need a scythe. I'm just going to pick a diamond scythe. It can be of any quality. So let's head out to our pen. And hello, Mr. Cow. Now this should one-hit him. Okay, so we have ourselves a soul. Oh, we actually got 2 souls. Lucky. Oh, I hit 2 by accident. Okay, so the instructions on how to use Necronomicon are create a mob soul. Done. Stand within 3 blocks of it. So I believe it's here. So we're within 3 blocks of it. Okay, so next is hold right click with the book. This actually costs 10 blood and souls, which have to be in your inventory in order to function. It's just part of the mechanic. So you need to move your blood and soul keepers to your hotbar. Sorry, your hotbar. Hold right click. And just like with the talisman, it's got a sort of a countdown and the durability gauge there. Okay, I don't actually know what happened there. These look pretty normal to me. Okay, well that one didn't work. Let's try it. Let's just try it again. Okay. Stand within 3 blocks. Look at the soul. Right click with Necronomicon. Okay, that's what happened. Okay, so what I did wrong last time was I waited too long because the soul is despawned. So what we have now are spectral cows. And what you do with spectral cows, spectral pets by the way, take a creep ball and right click on them. These are now your friends. So what you do with spectral pets is okay, so by default they sit, so you have to right click on them. Okay. Okay, so they're just sort of staying around there. Kind of confusing. I think it's supposed to follow you around, but if you notice very importantly, their health bars are going down slowly. So what you do in order to extend that is you take your blood vessel this thing will refresh. Yeah, there we go. So up to 20. So the indicator bar won't show it, but it will refresh the health of your spectral cow. There it is. So you now have spectral pets. You need to feed them blood in order to get them to thrive. I believe if you do this to wolves, they will follow you just like with a pack, and that's spectral pets. So yeah. Okay, so next thing we're going to talk about is the Spectral Die. Now, more than likely, you will never encounter this because the main ingredient in Spectral Die is this stuff, ectoplasm. Now, very important to note, there are 2 different kinds of ectoplasm. There is this, which is the more common form. This is found through Project Zulu, and it's found all over the place. You get it from, most notably, the mimics you'll find in a pyramid base, but almost any kind of ghostly Project Zulu-based mob will drop it. Relatively common. It's actually used in a couple of potions, which we'll get to in a later lesson. This, on the other hand, is the ectoplasm from Harken Scythe. This is extraordinarily rare. And let me see if I even have access to this. Oh, I do. Okay, so I'm going to actually be able to. I'm going to show you where you get this from. Now, the reason I'm spawning this in is because it is incredibly rare. Very, very hard to find. It basically it comes from a Spectral Minor, and Spectral Minor, according to my records here, is a rare underground mob that inflicts players with blindness and can only be damaged with scythe charge attacks. So you find this while you're mining underground. I've never actually seen one, so I'm kind of curious what it looks like. So door closed. And okay, here go the lights. Holy crap! Okay, not my brightest idea. This is a rare sprinting Harken Scythe core Spectral Minor of Evil of Dark Skulls. Okay, not my brightest move. So, yeah. That happened. Okay, hang on a sec. Okay, so Spectral Minor, my foot. That was Herobrine. Okay, so full Hexxit scale armor. And for some reason it's kind of bugging in my inventory, not sure why. So let's try this again. You blew a hole in my wall. Okay, let's try that again. So this is all to reiterate just... Oh, that's why bug didn't actually load. Where is he? I'm withered. I can't currently see his health. Wow. Okay, he's down to 40 health. And he's shooting gas at me. Gas fireballs. Last hit. And no, he killed me first. Okay, he is at 4 health, so I almost got him this time. And believe it or not, I did not intend for this episode to be this action-packed. Got him. Okay, what did he spawn? That's ectoplasm. Hello. Alright, so, yeah. Kind of messed up my bio lab here. Fortunately, the second floor looks fine. So, what did we get? Nothing. Went through all the trouble of killing him and we didn't get any reward for it. It's unfortunate, but that's what happens sometimes. Let's check downstairs. Nope, nothing here either. Okay, so we actually encountered and killed the Spectral Minor. However, it did not drop anything. So, yeah. This is what hopefully it would drop, ectoplasm. And what you do with ectoplasm is combine it with bone meal to make Spectral Dye. And what you do with Spectral Dye is kind of interesting. There we go. Okay, I'm not sure why it's not showing me in here. Oh, that's why. So, you're familiar with the Soul Weave set, which we used before. It's this right here. What you can do with Spectral Dye is on a 1-1 basis, you combine it with the Soul Weave to make a dyed Soul Weave set. And the difference is that this Soul Weave set is invisible. So if you wear it, it's looks like you're not wearing any armor at all, but you're actually wearing Soul Weave. Again, not the best armor in the world, but it is kind of cool that it's invisible. Another thing you can actually do is you can dye leather. So, yeah, you also dye a leather set with Spectral Dye to make it also appear invisible. So, kind of cool. And then nice little vanity piece. I guess it could be useful in PvP to a certain extent, but you saw how difficult it was to defeat the Spectral Minor, and I didn't even get any ectoplasm for my trouble. So, it's available if you happen to find it in a chest. Definitely use it, but again, make sure it is the ectoplasm from Harken Scythe, not the one from Project Zulu. The main difference being that the one from Project Zulu is green, and the one from Harken Scythe is like light blue. Okay, so the last thing we're going to talk about is this. This is a Lunar Clock, and this is somewhat similar to a regular clock, except that instead of telling you what time it is, what time of day it is, this tells you what time of the lunar cycle it is. And the cool thing about it is that it lets you know as much as the day before. So that is if it's daytime, and this appears, it's hard to tell, but I think it looks like there's a moon above us. Okay, now I just changed my render distance, There we go. Okay, so this is a quarter moon. You can see it working up there. Just out of curiosity. Oh, it actually wasn't that much of a hit to my FPS, come to think of it. Cool. So I think actually, given that, I might keep it as a normal for the rest of the series. Excellent. I much prefer actually being able to see the stars as opposed to the short thing. I was worried about FPS. So back to the task at hand. The lunar clock lets you know what time of a lunar cycle it is. Now the reason it tells you about this, and very important note, the recipe for this unfortunately also requires ectoplasm. So yeah, 4 ectoplasm, gold, and redstone. So basically a clock with ectoplasm added to it. Very hard to find. And unfortunately, I was not able to actually figure out what it's used for. According to wikis, the lunar clock tells you the phase of the moon, especially the one during the new moon, because apparently during the new moon you have what's called the harvest moon event, which allows for the creation of it allows for to be harvested culled souls. I don't know what culled souls are. I haven't the foggiest. I couldn't find it anywhere listed. It wasn't even listed on the mod maker's site. So if you happen to find out what a culled soul is, let the rest of us know and be greatly appreciated. So that is the lunar clock. Okay, so this brings us to the end of our episode on the various tools that are available through Harken Scythe, and we had our first encounter with a boss, totally unintentional, I guarantee you. It will definitely not be the last one, but I suspect our overall campus is going to be taking quite a bit of a beating in the future. But for now, we're going to start. This is going to be the third in our series on the Harken Scythe mod. Next lesson, we're going to be talking about the tools and weapons from Better Dungeons. So this has been Kankadia for Hexxit Education, and class dismissed.